Intimate partner primary source, devaluation, if the narcissist was honest. The intimate partner primary source will always be devalued. This is a certainty, in the same way that the sun always rises in the east, and everybody will die at some point. The intimate partner primary source will always be devalued. At the point of that devaluation, however, what if the narcissist was actually honest about their views with regard to the commencement of that devaluation, with particular emphasis on it being an intimate partner primary source? What if the lesser or mid-range narcissist was actually given insight into what they were and why they were doing it so that they could convey it? What if the greater or the ultra, of course already aware, decided that they would tell the victim the reasons why they're behaving as they do? What would those conscious and unconscious reasons manifest as? How would they be conveyed? This is an example of where the narcissist is honest towards the victim, who is an intimate partner primary source, who is on the cusp of devaluation. It is only ever a question of time before you go down and you suffer the devaluation. If you're one of the lucky ones, you may just reach the anniversary of a year since when I wrapped my tendrils around you and pulled you into my world before things start to turn nasty. For others, the marker of a year is but a distant dream as they find themselves cast down from their pedestal after just a number of months. I know you all find it so troubling and upsetting that one day that you're treated like a king or a queen and the next day you are regarded as a peasant. But that's the nature of this beast. It's always been the case for as long as I can remember, and unless the next one lives up to expectations and delivers as they really ought to, then it will continue to be the case. I really would prefer that it was not the case. I know you think that I'm some kind of monster for revelling in causing you such pain. I recognise that you are staggered that anybody could behave in what you regard as such an inhuman fashion by meting out physical, emotional, sexual and financial abuse, but as is so often the case, you are too caught up in your own feelings to actually understand why we do as we do. I don't actually revel in the act of making you cry by calling you all manner of names and shouting at you. I don't take vast pleasure in saying who you can socialise with and marshalising your finances as if they were my own. The vast variety of manipulative machinations which I produce from my devil's toolkit aren't the source of my pleasure. Yes, I will admit that I do derive satisfaction from asserting such control and power over you, but it isn't actually a huge amount of satisfaction. Why? Well, it's for the simple reason that I'm superior to you. I'm entitled to take these steps and act in this way. It is a given. Accordingly, by behaving in this manner, I'm actually just doing what's expected of me, and that's my right. It's a little bit like asking somebody, do you enjoy your job? Ultimately, it's a job. It must be done. Thus, I'm not able to derive huge amounts of pleasure from it. It's not the act in itself which gives me the pleasure, but rather your reaction to it. Your heightened emotional reaction, combined with the attention that you give me, are the reasons why I must cast you down. I know that you hope that this can be avoided and you believe that there is another way. I know you tried to keep me happy by doing everything you could, as best you could, in the manner that you thought that would meet with my approval. But you always failed in some way, and you always will. I know my opinion chops and changes from day to day and from hour to hour, but that's just the way that I am, and you availed yourself of my brilliance at the beginning. And so now you're going to have to endure this other part of my nature. I see no reason to change. Why should I alter from being who I am just because you can't cope with it? Give way, yield, and allow someone else the opportunity to fill your shoes and address matters. Have you considered that the reason that you were cast into the dirt was because you just weren't good enough? Oh, I know you tried. You told me often enough. By God, I tired of hearing you whine and moan about how much you do for me, and that I have no time for such observations. That is what it is. You have been exposed to my brilliance, and you wanted it for so long. You enjoyed being admitted to my world with all that such admission entailed, but then you failed to show me the requisite appreciation and respect. I knew what was behind it. You wanted what I had for yourself, but that's impossible. I'm used to people wanting to claim what is mine as their own. It is a hazard of being a leader, a pioneer, and a person that others look up to. I expect it of the minions that I must interact with, the knee-benders, the elbow people, and the hand-wringers. I can see it in their eyes as they kiss my pinky ring. They want to be me, but they cannot. I am cut from a different and far superior cloth, and the best that they can ever hope for is to be included in my court and experience my reflected glory. I expected such petty envy from them, but not from you. You were meant to be different. I chose you, I selected you, and I put you in the position of my intimate partner primary source because you were meant to be different. But, as so often has been the case, you actually proved that you were a little better than all of the others. Yes, you showed me some service in the provision of the fuel that I require, and yes, you submitted to my control for a period of time. But as ever, it was short-lived, and therefore I became bored of your fuel because you gave me too much of it, or, in other instances, you didn't give me enough of it, or frequently enough, and therefore I had to cast you down. You brought it on yourself. You signed your own death warrant, and that is why you had to go down. That is why I had to devalue you. That is why I had to move to treating you in a different way. I couldn't get rid of you, but this isn't about me disengaging from you. This is about me telling you why I had to hurt you, why I had to devalue you, why I had to denigrate you, why I had to cheat on you. Could I have chosen a different method and allowed you to walk away? No, not at all. What you must understand is that you feasted at my table. I gave you everything, and you gorged on my love. You drank deep of my generosity, and you clothed yourself in all the appreciation, desire, passion, attention, and dedication that I provided to you. It doesn't matter that it was all a fabrication. I still gave it you, didn't I? It doesn't matter if a Louis Vuitton handbag is fake. It's still a handbag. It's still a gift. And you received it, and you received it willingly, and you thought it was genuine. So what does it matter? What does it matter that I gave you an illusion and fakery? You still took it all the same, and therefore you are culpable. Yes, I gave all of this in order to receive from you. I gave all of this so you would be controlled by me, because I must have that control. I gave this to you so you would give me the fuel that I would need. But you still benefited from everything that I did on a massive scale, and you still let me down. Having taken from me, you must now pay. And since you have failed to do so in the manner that I have decreed, then there is no hope for it other than for you to pay with yourself. You must now pay with your emotion, your sanity, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your finances, your friendships, your family relationships. All of these things are now up for grabs as I trample all over you and our relationship. All of those things are now valid currency in order to repay me for everything that I gave to you, everything that you took from me. All of that, along with your emotional outpourings, are now acceptable methods of repayment. You have a huge debt to me. It's not permissible for you to leave without paying me. In fact, on your way down, as I now start to devalue you, it is not possible to leave at all.